tracks, leaving a lot of bottom open.
The slow car.
Just like a year ago, he's going to get him, though. He's going to get him. Gordon got loose. It's Harvick. Harvick by inches. Harvick by inches.
A truly incredible moment in NASCAR history, a moment of healing for many, as well as Kevin Harvick took the checkered flag in 2001 from Atlanta Motor Speedway, as we are racing as Jeff Gordon, the driver that he just barely beat to the checkered flag on that afternoon from Atlanta. We start P2 and immediately get off to a bad start here to kick off this 60-lap race. Such an iconic moment in NASCAR history, and we're trying to see if we can put Jeff Gordon in victory lane here today as we slide through the center of 1 and 2, and immediately we go from second place down the order here, struggling right off the bat now as we head down towards turn 3. So 60 laps of racing, and the goal is simple. The objective is 1, try to beat Kevin Harvick. Objective 2, try to win the race. Can we at least get one of those done? I think beating Kevin Harvick's probably going to be the easier one. This is such a tricky car and track combo. We are running against iRacing AI for the first time in history, rewritten in a little while, and coming back with maybe one of the hardest combinations you can use is a Gen 4 stock car going onto one of the trickiest tracks in the schedule before it was, of course, reconfigured to the super speedway just a few years ago. So here we are with this 2001 car set, trying to work our way forward after starting P2, which is also where Jeff Gordon started this real race in 2001. He started P2 alongside, I believe it was Dale Jarrett, if I'm not mistaken, so someone can correct me if I'm wrong. He might have been on pole, but of course it turned out Gordon still finished second, but Kevin Harvick went and won the race. Of course, this is not history that I necessarily wanted to rewrite, but I wanted to at least relive this history and take it all in and see what we could do, and almost recreating history even with Jeff Gordon and Kevin Harvick as well as we head down towards turn 1. And immediately you see in my rear view mirror, here it comes at 29, Good Wrench Chevrolet. It's Kevin Harvick going around the outside as we are saving tires. So it is important to note as well, there will be a caution coming out. So out of the 60 laps, I just basically put that into a random selector of what lap are we going to throw a caution. Lap 40 was what was chosen for a yellow, so that's going to be shortly after likely green flag pit stops, if we get to green flag pit stops. So that's going to make it interesting. But my goal here is save tires for approximately 15 laps or so, because you can absolutely destroy your tires quickly, and well, you're going to pay the consequences at this track for it, especially with the amount of horsepower that we have in this Cup Series car. So I was saving a lot of tires early, and we had already jumped down to 13th place. Meanwhile, Harvick a few spots in front of us there, just now inside towards the top 10. So definitely got some work to do, but the goal is save tires, and hopefully, you know, after about 15 laps or so, we're going to start to see the difference, and we'll start to be able to, you know, reel in the drivers in front of us, including Kevin Harvick, as well as the drivers in front of us as we head down towards turn number 1. Not having the most confidence in. And one thing I learned as this run was going on is I was saving my tires to an extent, but I was also using them up a little bit more than I needed to be, and more than I thought I was, and that was because I was overdriving the entrance of both turns 1 and 3, and that was something that I realized a bit too late in the tire life cycle, so I've kind of put myself in a box now to where I'm probably not going to move forward as this run goes on. So we're down to 14th place as we find ourselves in a bit of a back and forth battle here with Ken Schrader and that M&M's number 36. So we're going to roll through that right on that white line through 1 and 2, and we'll slide across the nose, and it's really hard to keep the car from doing that. You're kind of chasing this car up the track. It's just so much horsepower, and as the tires where it's getting so free and you're just chasing it. So I'm trying to not slide across the nose of some drivers there when they get the run, but it just happens, and that's not going to be the last time you see that in this episode. But you saw there Schrader is able to make some work, get around my outside, and we go back down to 14th, and we got Johnny Benson, we got Ward Burton coming up, and Ward Burton was on the move here in my rear view mirror. Bobby Labonte still leading. You can see on the track map he is all on his own, in great shape right now. It's all Bobby Labonte here so far in these first 17 laps, but this was the point where I was hoping that things would turn around about halfway through this cycle and I would start to be able to reel in these guys in front of me. Not really happening. We're still going backwards. We're now dropping another spot, so we go down to 15th place behind Ward Burton, who's going to engage in battle now, of course, with Ken Schrader. As you see, starting lap 20 at this point. Bobby Labonte still leads. Mark Martin's working his way forward in that Viagra number 6, and you see Kevin Harvick going at it side by side with Matt Kenseth. He's at the very tail end of the top 10 still. He has not made a whole lot of progress forward, as you see myself here right on that inside line, just trying to make the most I can out of this now, and I was at least happy as we started lap 21 that I was at least keeping this little group right here of Burton and Schrader at least right in my windshield. That was kind of the main goal. Just do not let them drive away. But we're going to continue to struggle as, like I said, we were overdriving 1 and 2 or 1 and 3. So we'll continue to pay the price for that as this run goes on, and I was just kind of waiting for one of the drivers around me to say, hey, I'm going to come into the pits now, as I am giving a bit of a block there on Johnny Benson. Not an intentional block, and it wasn't long until Bobby Hamilton would pass him, as you can see in my rear view mirror. So maintaining 15th as we head down this back straightaway in towards turn number 3, just waiting for, like I said, those pit stops, because now you can see I'm losing time, and I started to shift up the track a little bit to find a little bit more pace, a little bit more momentum, run off the corner, and it started to change things. I had actually gotten a bit closer to Ward Burton here as we come into turn 2. You can see just building up a bit of that run right now, still over half a second between the two of us, but we would use this middle lane to run him down. So we would reel down 14th place of Ward Burton as we head down this back straightaway. You can see now down to 0.3 of a second between the 22 and myself. We continue running higher up the racetrack now, all the way to the top this time. First time doing that today, so a little bit sketchy getting up here. You see the marbles on the right side of the circuit. They're right against the outside wall, but we get even closer to Burton as we're slipping and sliding even through the tri-oval. But Burton, in a defensive move, actually glides up the track as well, and as soon as he went up the racetrack, he starts opening the gap back up to me. So realizing at this point 15th place is probably the best we're going to be able to do throughout the remainder of this run, especially now that you see Burton's moved up the track. Ken Schrader has moved up the track as well. Bill Elliott, they're nearly 3 seconds down the road at this point. So as we come to lap 30, just anticipating the pit stop as I continue to hang on. But once these guys in front of me moved up the racetrack, I had nothing left for them. So I was just hanging on, and you can see quite literally hanging on, sliding out of turn 4 as we save it now. Something you would never really get in an X-Gen car, as these cars slipping and sliding around this speedway to the extent that it is in this, of course, early 2000s car. Now, as you can see at the top of the screen, cars in front of us coming into the pits as we continue to slide. I said that's my sign right there. Cars are pitting. I'm slipping and sliding around, giving up time. Let's come into the pits just past halfway through this race now. Kenseth comes in. He's going to be the first one. Bill Elliott in the 9, myself and Johnny Benson to follow just behind in that Valvoline number 10. So we're on lap 32 of 60. We come in before the majority of drivers now, as we're going to come in for 4 tires and fill it up on fuel. A good pit entry there into our bit box, and yeah, it's going to be about a 13.1 second stop, and we actually lose time. Benson's way in front of us, and our teammate Terry Labonte is going to get in front of us. What has happened there? And I think we're going to get some clarity on it, but I immediately had questioned, are the other drivers taking only 2 tires with still almost 30 laps to go at one of the toughest track on tires in the entire series? And I believe that's exactly what has happened, but I'm still taking it easy, because I know a caution's coming on lap 40. That's only 7 laps from now. We are not far at all, so I didn't want to push the issue. Now the leader of Bobby Labonte comes in. Let's watch it stop. It stopped 1 second, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 seconds he's going. That confirms that it's a 2-tire stop for him, and everybody else, for whatever reason, appears to be taking 2 tires instead of 4 on a track that is so grueling on the tire wear. I was very surprised to find this out, but it of course at least allowed me to make some sense of why I just lost about 3 positions and so much time to the other cars in front of me. So I was comparing my lap times, at least, and I was hoping, post-race that I would look and see that I was faster than everybody in front of me, and I was. When I would put in even just a low-effort lap, I was running quicker than the cars in front of me, but we're now coming to lap 41, knowing, okay, end of lap 40, caution is coming out, so this is going to be the big opportunity for us to get back into this race, and there you see the caution lights come on the pace car, caution flies. There was a late race restart with about 20-ish laps to go in the real-life race, so it's pretty funny that it's going to work out just like that here in the remake of this race. So we're going to be P18 for this restart. Lining up single file behind Terry Labonte. Bobby Labonte, his brother, been in total control all race long, maintains control as we'll get back racing here for a less than 20 lap sprint. It's going to be 17 laps to go here from Atlanta Motor Speedway, as now we know the objective of winning the race is pretty unlikely, but the objective of beating Kevin Harvick at least has come alive. We could at least get half of this done. Michael Waltrip just won the Daytona 500 just recently at this time, of course, is going to now fall back as he puts some pressure on me. We would pass our teammate of Labonte on the run into turn 1. Now we're up into 17th, looking to the inside of Bobby Hamilton. I feel like at this point, everyone in front of us is on 2 tires. We could probably put our car just about anywhere, but actually wasn't quite able to make the pass happen right there. But I feel like we should be able to put it anywhere and be able to make overtakes happen. But we're going to run up the racetrack now, and my goal is simple. We're coming to 15 laps to go. I see Harvick up there in front of us now as we're all over the back of Johnny Benson, but I'm going to push really hard, and basically I'm going to push so hard though that my tires are probably going to get it on an equal playing field with the guy with 2 tires later in this race, but we're going to push hard now and gain what we can. And here we are making 3 wide moves around the outside, closing in towards the top 10. Now up into 13th behind Dale Earnhardt Jr. Looking to the left rear into turn 3. We'll get alongside the Budweiser Chevrolet. Now Harvick going to be the next driver in front of us as we roll through 3 out of turn 4. We're going to slide up in front of Jr. He has to back out of it now. Very gracious of him as we're up to P12. Now alongside Bill Elliott now. Kevin Harvick's going to be our next objective as we roll through out of 4 down this front straightaway. We're going to slice to the inside, almost similar to recreating the finish between these two in 2001. Instead, we're fighting for 10th place. With 12 laps to go, we'll sail it off into 1, and we'll clear Kevin Harvick there. Into 10th we go. Harvick's going to fight now with Bill Elliott, but we've completed half of this objective of beating Harvick and winning the race. Winning the race is going to be a lot harder, and I just don't see it happening. Bobby Labonte is in control, driving away as we head down this backstretch, and we have to fight through traffic. That's just going to take time. Even with a tire advantage, we still slide, pushing so hard. We save it, even caught the grass with the left sides. Now you slide everywhere on this track if you just get a little bit too aggressive on that throttle. Sterling Marlin in the number 40 on the inside, just behind the 28 Havoline Ford of Ricky Rudd, as I actually had to check up there and giving Kevin Harvick an opportunity to get back to me as he's maintained P11. But look at the run we get out of turn 4, coming to 7 laps to go, slicing to the inside of Marlin. We'll clear him with ease. Ricky Rudd's up next. That's for 8th place. We would follow him as he fights with Rusty Wallace there in that Penske Ford as we head down this front stretch. Another big run to the inside of the number 28, the iconic 28, as we dive down into turn number 1, looking for another spot. This will be P8 if we can clear Ricky Rudd. He's not going to make it easy with the momentum. Near contact on the exit at 2. We cut off the 40 of Marlin there, and we would have to wait another lap. 5 laps to go, and now you can see engaged in battle are these two in front of me, and we join the mix again. Now Wallace in the middle, Rudd on the bottom, myself even higher than the number 2, but not going to be enough of a run as we exit 4. These two continue side by side fighting, great AI racing, surprisingly on an oval from iRacing. Usually they get their AI racing on oval pretty bad, but they've got it pretty well done here as we roll through 1. Now we could split the middle. It is an option as we exit 2. The 28 backs out of it now, and now we'll go through into P8 with just 2 laps to go in this race. We know we're not going to win, but it's potentially P7 or P8. Kevin Harvick is P11 as we go down into 3 and 4, coming to the final lap here from Atlanta Motor Speedway 2001, and it's all Bobby Labonte, and Wallace has no run on the exit of 4. We get alongside across the stripe, white flag in the air side by side for 7th place as we dive down into turn 1, making full use and taking full advantage of 4 fresh tires compared to the 2 on the rest of the drivers, but they still held their own very well. But we've got the speed late in this race, but it's not going to be enough, of course, to win, as that's in the hands of Bobby Labonte, who rolls through 3 and out of turn 4 for the final time of 60 laps. Bobby Labonte wins Atlanta 2001 over Mark Martin. It's going to be P7 for us as we cross the stripe behind that DeWalt Ford of Matt Kenseth, and history is rewritten in the way of Bobby Labonte picking up the win. We do beat Kevin Harvick and still earn a respectable 7th place result. One of the most fun episodes I've done of History Rewritten, maybe the most fun by far. What a blast it was. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you all later. Have a great day.